All right, go ahead. Walking through Tennessee.
Yeah, I came up here. I came up here about it was about 6 years ago.
What state have you not been in? What the heck, man?
I've never been anywhere west. I've never been anywhere west of New Mexico.
Oh, okay.
I've been everywhere east of here
No,
and south of here, but I've never been anywhere west of New Mexico
really.
or north.
Hmm.
I have been to 26 of 50 states in the
Holy cow.
last 10 years.
Holy cow. New Hampshire?
Never been there.
Oh, okay.
Pennsylvania,
Oh, God, here we go.
Pennsylvania. Well, actually, ever since I was a little kid, Pennsylvania, both the Carolinas, both Virginias, Georgia, Florida, Tennessee, Kentucky, Indiana, Ohio. Never been to Michigan. Let's see, Illinois, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Iowa, Missouri, Kansas, Arkansas, Texas, New Mexico, Oklahoma. I'm trying to think. Um, North and South Dakota. I've been to a
Sure.
lot. Missouri, I've gone through there, God knows how many times, just traveling on the bus.
I'll never forget going. I've been a lot of different places too, but I remember one time we went through a place and it was in Louisiana. We stopped in this gas station, went in, and this woman was she had a mustache longer than mine, dude. I mean, it was just like perfect. Looked like Wyatt Earp or something like that. And
Oh God.
it was weird though, man. Like she had lipstick on and everything else, you know. And at first I took a second look. I was like, God, it's just 3 in the morning kind of shit. And I'm like,
What?
yeah, is that real? And it was real, man. It was girl. She was proud of it, you know. But yeah, man, it was insane. I've been to places like that and seen crazy stuff in the middle of the night. That's why I said those gas. You working in the gas station like that in the middle of the night,
we
see all
closed.
kinds of stuff. Well, you close earlier than,
Yeah,
but
we
now if you
closed
worked at
early.
like Huck's or something that was a 24 hour, boy, I bet you see all kinds of goodies in that one.
I'll tell you what. The best place I've seen was the best place I've seen some crazy stuff happen was up at Peaks when I worked up there.
Oh, well, of course, yeah.
That's where a lot of stuff happened. A lot of things happened up there. Um, I just found out a really good friend of mine I used to work with up there just passed away on
Hmm.
Tuesday. He When I first started working at Peaks, they had me over. I've worked every lift up there at least once.
Hmm.
The only one I've never worked is the triple, but I've worked all the other ones at least once. So my first year up there, they stuck me on the double. Towards the end of the year, that's where they kept me.
Hmm.
Second year, they made me an operator. I came in one day and they looked at me and they're like, Banca. And I'm like, yeah. They were like, you're an operator. What? They were like, you're an operator. I haven't been trained for it. Well, it doesn't matter. You're going to be an operator. They were like, you're an operator from here on out. We don't have enough operators, so you're going to operate. I'm like, oh, great. I'm like, that just puts more responsibility on me, but okay, whatever. And it was an easy job.
Yeah.
It was easy. All I had to do was just pretty much show my rotations and talk to my guys and just, I'm going to write down the rotations, but we'll just run it how we run it. If you
Hmm.
want to stay up there all day, great. I'll just show that we rotated anyways.
Yeah.
And most of the time, everybody, all the operators, they would talk to their crew. I don't care who's where, but I got to show that there's rotation on there so that way when the state, might see that, they might be like, oh, okay, this guy was here at this time, this guy was here at this time. Okay.
Hmm.
So, I remember one night, uh, I remember one night I first started there. I was down at the bottom of the quad. It was and I was by myself. We were we were running a skeleton cruise at the time. That's
Mhm.
where the crews were real small. Like you might have had the operator up top and one guy rotating between the bottom and
Yeah.
two of us rotating between the top and the bottom. Well, I remember I was down at the bottom of the quad one night. And where the bottom of the quad is, you got the river. You got the creek that runs right next to it. And you had that big, huge orange fence right there.
Yeah.
Well, it started raining. And whenever the rain would hit the snow, it would create this fog. And it got so foggy down there one night, like I could watch the chairs just I would watch the chairs literally just disappear going up the hill. Like they would hit that fog and instantly disappear. It was like they were going nowhere. They were coming out of nowhere and going right back into nowhere. So I remember it was like 9 o'clock that night. I had been down there for like 2 hours by myself. It was so creepy. I was waiting on somebody to come out of the fog because it was just me down there at the bottom of that hill, just me. I was waiting on something creepy to happen. I was waiting on like a serial killer to come out of the fog and try to stab me to death or something. Because here I am down there. I'm looking around. I didn't have customers for at least a few hours. I'm like, just looking around, just making sure ain't nobody there because had this little wooded area over here, and then you had the creek right there.
Yeah.
Perfect settings. Perfect
Setting
settings.
for a death.
Yes, it was. That night, it was the perfect setting for a death. I kid you not, because when it barely rained, but that rain, when it hit the snow,
Fogs up.
it fogs up. So it just
Creepy as hell, I'm sure.
Yes, yes. Oh my God, it was creepy. After that night, finally Mountain Ops came down like an hour before closing. They were like, go ahead and start rolling your fences so you can be out of here at whatever time. So I was like, all right. So I started rolling my fence. Next thing I know, I get up underneath the shack. There's two people getting off a chair. Two more workers getting off a chair, coming down to help me roll fence so I can get out of there. On the way up, this is what it felt like. On the way up, they would have Mountain Ops sit at the bottom. They would take all three of us workers and they would put us all in one chair, send us up, and Mountain Ops would wait at the bottom for us to get up top before they shut it down. As we were going uphill, I remember the fog was so thick, I looked back behind me, I couldn't see anything.
Oh my God.
I looked below me and I'm like, I don't see the ground. I'm like, I can't see behind me. I don't see the ground, and I couldn't see nothing in front of me because it got that thick. That quick. I couldn't see anything around. So here I am, and I could barely see the other chairs going this way. I could hear them because they had the guns turned off. When they turn the guns off, you can hear the.
Yeah.
Well, they had the guns turned off, so I could hear the chairs going past me on the way up the hill. They were going down. But I just couldn't see nothing else around. I'm like, oh my God, all it's going to take is like the perfect gust of wind and we're gone. We were already, because when you're going up, you don't realize that, here's the hill, your ski lift is actually going like that.
Yeah.
So by the time you're halfway up the hill, you're about 50 feet in the air, just dangling like this.
Oh yeah, I know.
It's
But
scary.
I rode it. It scared me to death to fall off. Worried I was going to fall off of one. And then you got a ski holding on to you too. If it's a ski, if you're riding,
Yeah. If you're riding, well,
They had to shut those lifts off all the time for me because I'd face plant at the top every time. Bam, bam. They hated me. I only went once, man. Only went once. I was in jeans. It was 60 degrees out. It's one of them days.
yep.
And froze my ass off, and I hit everything and everyone on that trip. And one of my guys, my friends, he hooked me up. He's a ski pro, and he had the ski pro jacket he gave me, to wear while I was up there. And I remember knocking these kids down and getting down to the bottom and flipping and cussing and throwing a fit. And the woman saying to her child, "Look, honey, even the pros fall down." You know, I always said that if there is a hell, it's got ice waiting for me, because that's how bad it was, man. Oh, I never again do I want to mess with that shit.
I'll tell you what, working there, when I was working there, we had the most inspirational thing there at that time. They would have the school for the blind go up there and go ski.
Sorry, what did you just say?
Blind. The blind.
No, you did not.
Yes. They used to have a school for the blind that would go up there and go ski.
No way.
Yes. Yes, they did.
I cannot imagine going down those slopes blind.
Let me tell you something. I got a crazy story on that.
Oh, shit.
I was at the bottom of the quad, bottom of Gravers, right? And we had the ski school there. We had the blind ski school there that day. There was a guy, he came down the hill by himself, without poles, just
and he's
skis.
Blind.
Yes.
How in the hell did he know where to go?
He made it straight to the bottom by himself without a ski instructor. And I asked him that question. I said, "Can you see anything?" You know, because I was curious. I didn't know he was blind because I could see his eyes, but I didn't know he was blind.
Can you see anything?
Yeah, that was my first question, because he had just came down. He didn't come down from from Walnut, which is a little bit easier. He came straight down Gravers.
Come on.
I kid you not. So I asked him. I looked at him. I said, "Can you see anything?" I was like, "Are you here with the?" I was like, "I'm not trying to laugh at you, but I was like, are you here with the blind school?" He was like, "Yes, I am." I was like, "Can you?" "Can you even see anything? Like, do you know where anything is on the hill?" He was like, "No, I can't see." He was like, "I can hear you." He was like, "But I cannot see you." I was like, "How the hell did you make it down Gravers by yourself with no poles, nothing to reach out to?" This is what he told me. He was like, "Years ago when this place first opened, I used to have my vision." He was
no
like,
shit.
So he went up there and he skied all the time. As he got older, his vision started disappearing. So he remembered what the hill was like. He used photographic memory.
Oh, come on.
He used photographic memory and made it all the way down.
Golly.
Dude, you'd be amazed. That's inspirational right there.
Yeah, photographic, but there ain't no way.
Yeah.
That'd be like me trying to drive to Bedford blind.
You'd be amazed at what blind people can do.
Well, okay. I'm just saying.
Or how about this one? There was a guy that came down Gravers Express with one leg. Made it all the way down without a ski instructor or anything, on one leg.
I mean, I guess I could see that. It'd be like no different than skiing with one ski, but
they used to have, what they used to do up there was they used to do like schools and groups and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
They would have the blind school up there. It was like once a month they'd have them up there, or about once every other week, sometimes once a week. They would have the blind school up there. And some of these guys, they knew what the place looked like before they went blind, before they lost their vision. So they knew their way around.
Mm-hmm.
They knew where everything used to be and all that stuff. So they knew their way around, which I had no idea about that. I had no clue. We had a paraplegic skier go up there.
What?
Yes. She was in this. It was pretty cool. She was paraplegic. So they put her inside of this. It looked like you remember the baby carriages from like the 1930s?
Yeah.
And the 1940s, some really big ones look like clamshells.
Yeah.
She was in one of those that had a special ski up underneath it. And the ski school pushed her down Gravers. They pushed her down to the bottom of Gravers, and they held on to this thing as she's going down. I kid you not. It was pretty cool. When they got her down there, what they had to do was they had ski patrol follow to make sure that if it tipped over, they could pick her back up because she was strapped into this thing.
Yeah.
So they had ski school follow, and they had ski patrol follow to make sure if anything happened, they could get her, they could get her up off the hill real quick. When they got her down to the bottom, I asked the ski school, how do we do this? They said, what you're going to have to do is when she gets ready to come up, you got to stop the lift. I was like, okay, so am I going to load you guys like I normally do? Because when ski patrol would go down, it would be 3 to a seat, leave 1 empty, 3 to a seat, leave 1 empty, 3 to a seat. So what they did was I had them stop the lift, and then we had to swing the chair out of the way a little bit. Ski school brought her up. They picked her up and they put her in the chair, and they tied her to it. They used a chain or
They used a chain.
They used a chain to wrap her around the chair so she wouldn't fall. And so after they got her into the seat, they had one guy sit here, one guy sit here. Then they had 3 guys in the next seat behind them, and they had 3 guys in the seat up front.
Mm-hmm.
So they had her strapped into the seat on her thing and all. Up the lift she went. When she got to the top, the first 3 guys, they'd get off. When it came to her chair, they had to stop the lift completely. Then the 2 guys that were in her chair, plus the other 3 guys, what they would have to do is they would have to untie her.
Can you imagine being going to the first time going skiing as a kid and seeing somebody chained to that thing and then coming out like that? Like, I mean,
you know what that was to me?
Mm-hmm.
You know what that was to me at that time? That was very inspirational. That's very inspirational.
Yeah, but I'm saying being a kid though, and first time showing up and you see them unchaining somebody from one of those.
I'd be like, what the hell? I'd be like, dude, what are they doing? I'd be like, that's so wrong. She's gonna fall. She's gonna fall, dude. Fall.
God.
But to me, that was very inspirational watching these guys. And it wasn't just one guy that came down Gravers by himself. There was like 4 or 5 of them that were blind. And the youngest one was, little 5-6-year-old kid came down there by himself.
Well, yeah, I see, when I was up there, little kids, man, they can just, they pick up on it a lot easier. Me, like I said, I hit everybody and everything down through there. I might as well, I did a better, I'd probably been better at bowling.
Did you
bowling for people down through there? Because that's exactly what the hell it looked like.
Did you snowboard or did you ski?
I did both. They were like, "Oh yeah, this would be a lot better for you."
You want me to teach you what skiing's like? I know how to ski. Skiing. Have you ever used rollerblades or roller skates? Okay. Skiing is literally the same concept.
No, it is not.
It is the same concept. The only difference is you don't have wheels. So like when you want to stop or you want to slow down,
you gotta turn to the side.
You do a pizza slice.
Mm-hmm.
So like when your skis are going this way, yeah, your legs are going to go this way. When you do that,
yeah.
You do like I skied on something a little bit more dangerous than skis. My first time skiing, I went on what's called ski blades.
Mm-hmm.
They're only about this tall.
What do you mean they're that tall?
They're about that tall. They're called ski blades. They're short. They're shorter than regular skis, and they're dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. They're very dangerous, especially like with ski blades because they're so much shorter.
Mm-hmm.
If the best way to use them is like when it gets real icy up there, that's the best time to wear them is because you have such a shorter blade, but you pick up speed a lot faster.
Let's see. And
it's a lot more dangerous because you don't have a ski that's going from me to that desk right there. It's going literally to the end of my foot right there. is how big they are. So when you want to stop, you can't just take your foot and go like that. You have to literally throw your whole leg out in front of yourself to stop. You got to turn your whole body to stop. And ski blades are a little bit, they're trickier to learn, but it was easy for me to learn those. It was easier for me to learn ski blades than it was regular skis.
Hmm.
I used to go up to the ski shop all the time when I wanted to go skiing, and I'd rent them off, guy that was up there. I'd ask him, how much is it to rent these? Well, normally I charge like 30, $35. He's like, but because you work here, I'm not even going to charge you anything. Man, don't do that for me. You know, I'd be like, don't do that. I'd be like, I'm just here skiing like a customer. He's like, you work here. I know where you work at. I know what department you're in. Trust me, if this things get messed up, I know exactly who to come look for. I was like, all right, you got me there. But now it's gotten ridiculous up there. Because of my background, I can't even. I could put in an application if I wanted to, but they won't hire me because of my background. And it's messed up. I mean, they got people there that there's people up there that work with felonies, but because mine are violent felonies, they
Yeah.
won't accept my application. They won't even look at it, even though I've got 5 years, 6 years experience at that place.
Hmm.
It's all because of this new company that's got it.
Yeah.
Dave.
So, there was something I was going to say and I'll ask you about that. I can't remember. Oh, so basically, what I hear is between you and Jed. That's for mayor of country
between,
place down there.
between me and Jed, I wouldn't want to be the mayor of that place. He can have it. He can have it.
Oh God,
Jed, he can have it. He can have it. Listen, I wouldn't want it. I wouldn't want the headache or the nightmare. He can have it.
Oh my gosh, man! I told somebody if I lived in your apartments down there, I wouldn't need a TV. I'd just sit on the damn porch all day long because,
they don't even have porches there.
well, not necessarily the porch, but whatever, right there at my door with the lawn chair, or out there on the sidewalk.
Porch.
Yeah, because I'm telling you, or if I ended up with a lot of money, I'd buy that place, and then I would make everybody say, "Listen, okay, you can stay here still, and nothing's going to change. Only difference is you're going to sign this contract that says that everything that you don't care, you do not care what's being recorded on the outside out here, because all the drama and everything that goes on out there in the parking lot and stuff, you make a fortune off of just the video.
Oh, dude, let me tell you something. All the drama and everything that happens there. God, I remember the worst incident that happened there about 10 years ago. I don't know if you ever heard about it.
Move your mic up there. I get lost it there.
Yeah. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever heard about the incident that happened up there about 10 years ago.
Mm-mm.
Well, my son.
Mm-hmm.
He was about, I'd say, like 8 years old at the time, and his nephew, or no, I'm sorry, his cousin got ran over in that parking lot right there.
Oh God!
When you pull in, you know where that first set of dumpsters is?
Yeah.
He got ran over right there. He got crushed.
Holy cow!
He was only 3 years old.
Holy cow! Because everybody just drives like morons right there.
Pretty much. It was. Oh my God, dude! I was upstairs that day that happened, and I was living in apartment number 8. I heard this bone curling scream, and I was upstairs. So my first thought was, okay, somebody done got somebody wet. So one of the kids out there playing, or something. Maybe one of the kids got scared or something, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I look outside. Everybody's swarming this van.
You say this was like 10 years ago?
About 10 years ago. Um, look outside. Girl gets out of the van and she goes over towards the front. I didn't see nothing. So I'm like, well, maybe she got spooked or something, you know?
Mm-hmm.
My son comes running up the stairs. He's, Dad, what? So-and-so got ran over in the parking lot. What? Yeah, so-and-so got ran over. You're kidding me, right? No, they got crushed.
Oh my God.
Now my son, 10 years later, now my son is basically living in the same apartment this little boy used to live in.
Oh, that's crazy.
For the longest time, he didn't go down there because of that. Because it was just a vision, like he saw it. How do you expect a little kid to let something like that go?
Yeah, for sure.
You
How old
know,
is he now?
he'll be 20 in a month.
Mm-hmm. So he'd been 10 years old when that happened. Gosh, man.
My youngest, yeah, he was about 10. The oldest was about 12, 13.
Mm-hmm.
It was crazy. It was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. I don't. You can't expect somebody to just unlive something like that.
No.
That's like, the job that I did. Um, it's a long story, but you can't unlive it. You can't unsee it. You can't unsmell it. It was just like when I work now, I will beat on the bathroom door like an FBI agent. And the reason why I do that is because of what I had to do 5 years previously. It's scary. Um, Especially when when you're working by yourself at night, you can't get to everything. You can't when you're working in a gas station like where I work at night and you're by yourself, you can't get to everything. You can't
Mm-hmm.
get out there to the bathroom and see what's going on, especially when you're in a pinch when you got a long line of people.
Yeah.
You can't get out there to the bathroom. You can't get out there to the pumps. You know what I'm saying? When you're by yourself, you're on your own. And certain jobs, that's what makes it so hard.
Mm-hmm.
And it's I don't know how to explain it really. Job I did 5 years ago. Yeah, there was a lot of memories that come out of that job, but that was the one thing I'll never forget.
So what happened again? You got called to go to the room, right?
So my second ex-wife, who was my second wife at the time, um, she was sent up to this room to go see if this lady was going to pay her rent because the
Mm-hmm.
manager at the motel didn't know if this lady was going to pay her rent and stay or if she was going to leave because nobody had seen her for like 4 or 5 days.
Mm-hmm.
And so she got sent up to the room. She knocked on the door, and the door had been open. So she was like, okay, well, maybe I'll just step in there, because it was an old lady. So,
Yeah.
well, my wife, she walked in the room, saw the body, and it had been rotting for about 4 or 5 days.
Holy cow.
She opened the door, saw the body. I guess it's pretty graphic. I mean,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I,
But I worked in the funeral business. I know. Worked around the coroners.
well, I could,
So I've seen it all, man.
I could kind of describe it, but I don't know if I could describe it on here.
No, probably not. It's
But
not.
she said, she walked in the room. She made a phone call. I was with my manager that day over on the backside of the motel. My manager gets this call. He's like, I hear her frantic, like somebody needs to get up to this room quick because I just found a body. Boss like, what?
Found a body.
Yeah, she found a body. She found the body of this old lady.
Mm-hmm.
So we quickly shut down the room that we're in, that we're working on. We shut it down, run to the front of the motel. We get there to the room. My boss walks in, comes back out in tears. I was like, don't tell me. And he's like, dude, she wasn't lying. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, oh my God. I'm not cleaning that up. I was like, I'm not doing it.
I'm not cleaning it up.
I said, I was like, if I get forced to clean that, I will walk off this job. I will quit. So, they called the fire department, got the coroner down there. Coroner came and got the body. Well, the owner, he wanted to keep the bed. He wanted to keep it. Yeah, he wanted to keep everything that was in that room. He wanted to keep the bed and the box spring, the mattress, the frame. He wanted to keep the dresser, the TV. He wanted to keep all that stuff in that room. I said, you can't. He said, what makes you think I can't? He's like, isn't there a way to clean that off with peroxide? I was like, yeah, you can do it that way, but I was like, it's going to cost you thousands of dollars and you'll never get that room open again. Well, what do you suggest I do? I said, dude, you're going to have to throw it away. I was like, but you can't. But I was like, I can't be the one to do it. He was like, well, who's going to do it then? I said, you're going to have to call Hazmat to do it.
Hazmat.
Woman got stabbed to death.
What?
Yeah, she got stabbed to death.
I thought that she just died of natural causes. You had me thinking this woman just died of natural causes.
She was brutally murdered.
Oh my
She
God.
was stabbed to death.
Oh my God.
She was older. She was like 78, I think. But yeah, she was stabbed to death. So boss, guy that owned the motel at the time, was like, well, I don't want to pay that bill. I was like, I'm not cleaning that room. I was like, forget you. I was like, you gonna take your happy ass up there and go clean it? He was like, I'm the owner. You can't talk to me that way. I was like, I just did. What are you gonna do? He was like, you can't talk to me that way. He was like, you can't tell me how to do this. I was like, you do it however you got to do it. But I was like, I'm just going to let you know. If I have to go up there and clean that room, I'm going to punch you in the mouth when I'm done. He looked at me and he goes, there's no need for hostile talk like that. I was just like, I'm just letting you know the fact. I was like, I'm not promising you anything. It's a guarantee. I was like, if I have to go in there and clean that room out, I will punch you in your mouth. So he goes, well, I'll talk to other maintenance about it. We'll see what we can do. I said, okay, great. But I was like, until then, you better keep the thought of hazmat being on your mind. I was like, because those are the people you're going to have to call after the body gets removed.
Yeah.
He didn't want to pay that bill. He didn't want to pay the $20,000 note. Because it would have cost him easily $5,000 just for touching the ground, just for showing up. It would have cost
Yeah. Oh, I
$5,000
know.
just
I
for
used to
that,
do cleanouts for situations like that.
and it would have probably been another $15,000 just to get the room clean.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a
At
mess.
least. But he didn't want to pay that bill, so he told me for the next 3 days, he was like, just open up that door, let that room air out.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, you have no idea how bad it smelled.
Yes, I do. But I told you, but I used to decompinate, station. How long had she been dead? They think
she had been rotting, and she had been dead in there for at least 4 days, 5 days. Yeah. The heat was on.
Oh, of course.
This is where the story gets really messed up. This is where it takes a turn. So after we get the room all cleaned up, well, after he talks to the other maintenance guys, he looked at me and he said, you're going to have to get rid of that bed. You're going to have to get rid of that frame and the dresser. I was like, you're kidding me, right? And he goes, no. I looked at him, I said, I should punch you in the mouth, but I was like, I'm going to go up here and get this done. I didn't even want to do it. So after I got to the mattress, I said, I'm going to need help getting that mattress out of here. I was like, dude, that's a big mattress. I was like, I really don't feel like rolling around in death. I don't feel like it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I called my manager up there at the time, and he came up. He grabbed one end, I grabbed the other. He parked the truck like downstairs from the room, so we just took the mattress and it
Tossed it
landed
out.
in the part. Yeah, we tossed it down. It landed right next to the truck, so we just went down there, picked it up, put it
Yeah.
back in the bed. Had to get another mattress up there, so we parked the truck in the same spot, just lifted the mattress up.
Was there blood on it?
On the mattress we got rid of?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you imagine
It was on
pulling
there.
up to that motel and seeing somebody
It
throwing
was,
that mattress out like that?
dude, we were right there in the middle of Fort Smith.
And
We
everybody
were right-
seeing, everybody standing around watching you?
Yeah, we were right between 10th and 11th Street.
Oh, shit.
The main entrance was off of 11th Street.
Yeah.
So you were going this way, so you didn't have that chance to really see because of the way everything was. But going down 10th Street,
Mm-hmm.
like this is the backside of the motel. So you could see here and here from 10th Street going this way. But from 11th Street, you couldn't see it because you had the little place up here, and then there was that shed, and then there was another building here. So it was just a quick glimpse. So
Yeah.
you didn't really have that full on view. But going down 10th Street, all you had to do was stop and look. Hey.
Hey.
You know? But we got that room all cleaned out and everything, and this is where the story gets really dark. So there was a guy that lived. So the lady that she got murdered, nobody heard her scream,
Mm-hmm.
and she lived 3 rooms down from me and my old lady on the right. She lived 3 rooms down. There was a guy that lived in the room to the left of us. He lived at the end room upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
We were in another room in the back cleaning one day, and he happens to come out and he goes, "Hey, if anybody wants to know what happened to the old lady that died in that room, I know everything all about it. I know who done it, when they did it, and why they did it, and all that." I'm like, what? I'm like, can you run that by me again, what you just said? He's like, yeah, I know all about it. I know who done it. I know when they done it. I know why they done it. He's like, I know everything there is need to know about it. He's like, I got a key to that room. I was like, you got a key to that room? He's like, yeah. I was going in there grabbing food and stuff out of there.
What?
Yeah.
What the?
None of us knew it.
Sorry. What? He was taking food out there after she had died?
Yeah, he was going in and out. Yeah, he had the key to her room, and he was going in and out of there with a corpse in the room, in and out, grabbing food and stuff. Nobody knew that he had the key. Nobody knew that he had the key until he mentioned it. I'm sitting there thinking, like, oh my God. I'm like, man, what do we live next to? What? Oh. Look at my old lady at the time. I said, I was like, did you just hear this guy? Yeah, I just heard him. I'm like, no, I didn't just hear what he just said. I didn't want to hear it, but I heard it. Can you imagine how creepy that is?
Oh, yeah, man. There's some crazy people out there.
One person 3 rooms down gets murdered. The person right next to you knows everything about it.
But you'd be surprised at how people are, man. So, we do, I do construction stuff, and we did this house, and we get in there, and the guy, we open the door. I go to the address. The guy had just bought the house that I was working for, and he's like, gives me the address. We open the door, but it looked like somebody was living there. I was like, dude, we're in the wrong place, So I call him. I'm like, dude, there's shit everywhere still. He goes, yeah, something happened. She ended up, moving or something, and I bought it off of her sister, and blah blah blah, the couch and everything. Anything in there, just throw in the dumpster or take home whatever you want. Are you sure? He's like, yeah. So there's really nice freaking, couch, nice television. It looked like a house. It was just a regular house. So the dumpster shows up. We're throwing some things away, and this guy, he's like, that's working with me. He goes, I want that couch. I'm like, go ahead, man. You can have that couch, And other guy wanted a television, all this different stuff. And yeah, so we are gutting this house, and we go and pull back the carpet, and it's concrete underneath it, and there's this red substance underneath there, dark red, and one of the guys goes, dude, this is blood. I said, no, it's not. I said, dude, that's probably wine or something that's been spilled. Stains are stains. You know, you go into houses, there's stains under carpet all the time. He kept at it. He said, no, man, this smells like iron. This is blood. I said, listen, how else do you think we got this job? And I was joking, dude. I was joking.
How else do you think we got this job?
Yeah, you know.
They were dying for us to come over here.
Yeah. I was like, somebody was killed in here, that man, you know. And I was lying, you know. And so he, yeah. So we're doing doing it, and it's this lady, or I'm sorry, hold on, wind it back. There's pictures of these people, you know, and I was like, okay, just throw that in a dumpster, and it was a container, plastic tub like thing, and he's looking through the pictures. I was like, dude, just throw that away. There could be nudity pictures in there, and jokingly, okay. And so as time's going by, I said, hey, what'd you do with that tub of pictures? They go, oh, he threw it away in the dumpster. I said, yeah, but we could use that tub to put trash in and stuff and carry it out. And so go get it. So they go, goes to get it. And that was on a Friday, and I left. And Monday comes, and one of the guys comes up to me, and he's like, Just comes up to me. He's like, hey, man, did you hear what Josh dealt with, And I was like, no. He's like, yeah, man, he found nudity pictures. I was like, what are you talking about? He goes, well, you remember that box, you told him to throw? Well, when he flipped it over and had it in there, you told him to bring that back in. There was nudity pictures of some woman in the 70s. Yeah, like this is old stuff from back in the day. And he's like, Dad, you ain't gonna believe this. So he sticks them in his pocket and takes them back. And he was staying with a couple from our church. And they were like, bring your clothes in here and we're gonna wash them for you, change and stuff. And so he's like, I better burn these, So he goes out there to try to burn the trash for them, because they burnt the trash. And they don't burn. So they're in there for breakfast, and like the couple goes, Josh, can you sit down? And he was like, what do you mean? And they were like, and they put the pictures on the table. They're like, we need to talk about this. He goes, no, Thaddeus, listen, if you're into that weird stuff, and he's like, no, you don't understand. They're like, we don't want to hear about it, and but yeah, he was like trying to tell me about it or whatever. So then we get back that that Monday following or whatever, and I hear Josh out there yelling and stuff at this woman, and I walk out there. I'm like, what the heck's going on? And he's like cussing her and everything, and I'm like, what is going on? He goes, you told this woman to call, say this to me, and blah blah. I was like, what are you talking about? And he's like, you told her to say this to me. And I was like, say what? And she's like, young man, are you working on this house? And I was like, yeah. She goes, did you hear about the murders? I said, murders? I said, yeah, bullshit. I looked at him and I thought, yeah, right. He's, he's told her to say this. I was like, you tell her to say this? And he's like, no, dude, you didn't. I was like, no. Then here comes, Just comes out there too. And we're sitting there. She's like, yeah, there was a massacre in this house. And I was like, what? And so the guy's like sitting there looking at it. She goes, yeah, she was stabbed like 19 times or something with a butter knife. What? And Just looking it up online. He's like, 19 times, yeah, in the head, and then the rest of them was all over the other places.
Oh
And
God.
I was like, holy crap. So I called the guy that owns the house, and I'm like, yeah, man. I was like, did you know about, what's going on? And he goes, ho, 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 ho. Don't tell me. We're going to act like this was the neighbor's house. Yeah. Because he was a realtor and he didn't want to sell this house, have to tell what was wrong with this house, If he doesn't know, he doesn't have to tell. And so he's got this brick wrapped around him, basically, block that's sinking him, because he's like, tell me what happened at the neighbor's house. I was like, it was a massacre. She died. You know what? And he's like, he hangs up the phone. He calls me back and goes, oh, shit. Now we're stuck with this house, man. I'm never going to sell this house.
No, actually, you can sell that house. I'll tell you how. Well, I can't tell you how, but I'll tell you something similar to that. Do you remember John Wayne Gacy back in the 90s?
Yes.
Okay. So you remember how they went to his house, they called him, they found 29 bodies in his house?
Yeah.
Okay. So about, I'd say like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, something like that, they tore down the original house that was there. Tore it down, buried it. They put a brand new house up in its place. This is a $600,000 house that has never sold. That's only sold one time. And the people that lived in it, they didn't live there for very long. They were in there for like 6 months and they left. That house has been abandoned ever since.
No shit.
And it's a $600,000 house that's sitting there now.
Why?
Beautiful house.
Why not try to get rid of it?
That's how the city of Chicago is.
Oh my God.
You want to know something crazy? You want to know something even scarier about that? Where John Wayne Gacy used to live, I didn't know this until my grandma told me one day when I was younger. She told me John Wayne Gacy lived only 8 blocks from my grandparents' house.
Oh shit.
He lived 8 blocks. That's how close he was. I was just a little kid when she told me that. And I'll never forget that. I was like, he lives where? She was like, he just lives 8 blocks that way. I'm like, Grandma, you're kidding me, right? She's like, no. Come to find out, my adopted dad at the time told me the same thing. He was like, John Wayne Gacy just lives right over there.
Oh no.
He just lives 8 blocks from here.
No shit. But so
I didn't know that he was Chicago's.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was like that. I had never heard the name till I got older, and then I'm like, holy cow, this guy lived 8 blocks from my grandpa. He could have came over there one night when we were outside. We used to play.
You wasn't his type.
I hope not.
No, but back to the whole thing with the story though. So, they had killed her nephew. The story is, the nephew was stealing money from his aunt. And so she finds out, she calls him and she says, listen, I'm not calling the police. I'm going to give you a chance to come over here and talk about this. If you don't, I'm going to call the police. So he tells his girlfriend that's got a kid with her, he's like, I'm going to kill this bitch. No, I mean, he literally, and you know how people are. Yeah. They'll say that shit. I'm sure there's been people come down there to your house and be like, I'm going to kill that, blah, blah, blah,
I've heard it.
Yeah, so she didn't take it seriously. So they get there. Girlfriend and the baby go into another room, because they're living there.
You know who did take it seriously?
Him.
No. My second ex-wife did for 6 years, and she still couldn't finish the job.
Oh, my God.
She took it seriously for 6 years.
Oh, shit.
She couldn't finish the job.
Oh, my God. No, but so the girl takes her child into the other room, and her story is that she heard them arguing and fighting and talking and stuff. And then she starts hearing him counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He was counting how many times he was stabbing her, dude. With this.
What?
Yes.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, it's fucked up, all right. And she comes out, and here's this body laying on the floor of his aunt. And he's like, grab a sheet. You're going to help me dispose of this. And they start pouring like salt and stuff on the body. And he's like, you're going to help me dispose of her, or I'm going to kill you and your child. Yeah. So what they do is they cut the bottom out of their of the couch that the guy that working with me, and he's like, you know, the couch, and he says, we're gonna slide. So they put her underneath the couch, and in a sheet with salt and stuff on her or whatever else, and then just put the couch back down. They cut the bottom out, you know, and just set it over top of her. And so she's laying there, and my friend, childhood friend, this is messed up, was her neighbor, and he noticed that her dog hadn't been let out and all this different stuff, and so he went over there and kind of peeked in the window, didn't see anything, saw something weird, and so he called. And he found her. He had found her dead, man. And
that's so messed up.
Oh yeah, she'd been dead for days, and been underneath that couch. The sister that we got the house from, she lived there for a little while. I mean, the couch. She had somebody come in and clean the carpets with a carpet shampooer, and that was it. Like nothing else changed in the house. She just lived there for a little while, let the dishes get dirty, and
have you ever heard the old saying? Well, it's not really an old saying. It's an interesting fact that in your lifetime you'll have either walked past like 136 serial killers and you never know it.
No, I've never heard that, but that makes sense.
Okay. In your average lifetime, you'll have walked past or at least met.
No, bullshit. 136.
In your entire lifetime, you'll have walked past 136 people who killed somebody and you never know it. Here's an interesting one. Another fact. In your lifetime, you'll at least meet 1 or 2 people that have killed somebody. You want to hear something really crazy? That happened this year down in Paoli.
What, you walked past somebody is what you're saying, or what?
There was a guy. Do you remember that standoff that happened at Huck's back in February
Yes.
and March?
Yeah, I know. I knew those people. Well, hold on. No, I didn't know those. I feel like I did. Was that the one that was connected? Somebody I knew that had a kid with them or something.
Okay, that guy, the guy that I think there was 3 guys and a girl. Anyways,
Yeah.
They killed somebody up in Bedford that day.
Yeah.
And then they came down here because they thought that by going into a small town, they thought that they could hide out and get lost. I'm sorry, but if I was to do something like that, I'd go up into a major city and get lost. Harder to find
Indianapolis,
somebody.
God, dude, you could hide out in Indianapolis easy.
Louisville.
Or Louisville, yeah.
But here's the thing. When I heard that fact, I heard that fact about a year previous to this, that, you'll have either met somebody that killed somebody or you'll have walked past so many serial killers in your entire life and never know it, right?
Hold on. Let me start another one.